I'm going to try this again today, or again, because I struggled here a minute ago, and I'm struggling right now. I recorded an entire video without sound, so hopefully you can hear me this time, because if you can't, that makes a problem. And my mixer is not working right now. There I am. Hi. Okay. There's 3. And I'm gone. Wait a minute. Can you, let me, sorry guys. We're gonna fix this real quick. I gotta do a picture-in-picture here. We're gonna do this here. We're going to do, oh, not that one. We're gonna move that there. We're gonna scale me down. Get rid of this. Now you can see me. Okay. Gotta do one more. So you're gonna see me right here. I gotta do another picture-in-picture. So I did a video, and unfortunately, what happened was I didn't do sound on it, which was a major problem. So I did a whole hour-long video without any sound in it. And you might say, why would we listen to you about making content if you don't even know how to operate basic equipment? And that's a good question. This time I think we do have sound. So let me make sure that people, let's see if you can hear me. Any questions? Alright. Where are we at? We're let's stick us on the screen right here. That's weird. So what happened was I've got my YOLO deck, which is right here, nice little tool. For switching between, I'm using 2 computers, so I have to be able to switch back and forth so that you guys aren't watching dead time too much. But for some reason it deleted 2 of my prompts, so I had to start over. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about these different video generators and how you can actually create a workflow to go from AI slop to AI good. So where you can have actual coherent, fun stories in long form. Now, what this is not a video about showing you how to put a cat on a motorcycle and, you know, do like a little 15-second short. It's not a video about showing how a blue jay can, you know, lift weights. That stuff, I think there's enough of that out there already. Don't mean to offend anyone, but that kind of content I think we have too much of already. What I am trying to do is show you how to actually make coherent, fun stuff that actually is good. So right here I'm going to show you, this is a song that a video I did from last week. I don't hear any audio, which is alarming. Yeah, it's a fun song. And in the song, you can see that it's coherent, right? So I've got a character here, I got a character there. It's the same character. Her name's Samantha Quest. She goes on an adventure to look for Bigfoot. Right through. She talks. She's lip syncs. She goes to all the locations where Bigfoot supposedly exists. She looks for the clues. And it's done with AI. And it's about 10 minutes of actual content. And so that video is something I wanted to do. But to make an AI video with, you know, actual decent quality, 3D generated quality, with a song, that would have been at least $5,000–6,000 a minute, and from an animation production studio, and that's crazy. I can't. There's no way I could ever earn my money back on that. Several years back, we made an anime series called The Adventures of the Assistant and Wiggles. It was really fun. It got like, I don't know, probably 10 million views as a whole series, and it cost about $2,000 a minute to animate, and frankly, you just can't recoup that kind of money from an independent filmmaker or independent YouTuber. So if you want to make these more creative type things, you're going to have to find alternatives. So you can either learn how to become a songwriter and music creator and animator yourself, which I've thought about doing. I have no musical talent. So that's not really going to work. I mean, and it's months and months. Or you can learn about an AI assisted workflow, which is what I'm going to talk about to you today about. And I'm going to show you some of the tools, the new tools that have come out that can help you create good stuff. Not AI slop, but actually good, coherent content that you'll be proud of. So that's the basis of this video. And one of the things I think is fun is the tools that have come out now. This is from the first time I did this video. You know, you see these. Long story short, the tools that have come out are amazing. So I started doing a lot of generative video creation back, say, April, May of 2025. State of the art was VO2, Runway, I think 3 or 4. And it was okay, but it wasn't really, it was nothing you were going to actually publish. It was kind of like, hey, is this AI or not AI? And it was like, oh, that's AI. But it wasn't great. You know, you'd see 6 fingers, or, you know, an extra toe, or the, you know, 2 animals are merged together and become one. That stuff was pretty common, as I show you actually a very poor result right here. But as we went through 2025 and got into October and November, the tools just got so good. You know, I remember being amazed by Kling 2.5 Turbo. A fantastic model. I mean, the physics on it were pretty darn good. But then Kling 01 came out, and Kling 2.6, and then Kling 2.6 with lip-synced audio. It's just amazing. VO was good. Then 3 came out, and you're like, hey, that's a lot better. That's gonna change a lot of things. But then VO 3.1 came out, which was better. And that was the best model in the world. Well, until Runway 4.5 and Kling 2.6, and now the Luma 3.14, Luma Pi, I love it. And we're going to show you all these things, but we're also going to show you how you can take these tools and amplify your creativity. That's the key for this whole video, is not to replace human creativity. If you replace human creativity, I think you get a soulless, hollow content. It's just not going to connect, in my opinion. What you have to do is take the creativity in your brain, the stuff that you already wanted to create, and allow the tools to blossom it out. Amplify what you have. Again, I can't create songs. I can create lyrics and ideas for songs, but I have no musical talent. But now I can actually create pretty good stuff, at least to my ear. I can't animate, but I know what I want the characters to look like. I know how these stories need to flow. I know what kind of stories I want to tell. And AI gives me the ability to bring all that to life, to amplify those talents into a product that I'm actually pretty proud of. Some of you are going to say, hey, that's slop, blah, blah, blah. But I challenge you to say, I view it as an engineer, arithmetic, algebra, calculus. And some of these AI tools are calculus. The original arithmetic is somebody hand drawing, right? Walt Disney, hand drawing Mickey Mouse. Then CGI came out, right? Hand drawing kind of went away. It was all, you know, cell generated, computer generated imaging. And that was great. And now you could do things like Blender. But then that was the algebra. Now the Blender type creations can be amplified further, multiplied further, into where the instructions generated. And that's really the best way I can tell it, is like, it's just the evolution of how this came out. I'm not talking about stealing somebody else's concepts or stealing anyone else's art. I'm talking about you taking the stuff that's in your brain and allowing that to come out through this process. And that's what we're going to show. But first, let's talk about some tools, okay? So there are, the basics of it are, there are really 2 ways to create video. You have, I got a nice PowerPoint, but I'm not going to use it. You've got text to video, which we'll talk about. and you have image to video. Image to video is when you actually have a picture and you animate the picture. Text is just a simple prompt to video. Personally, I find simple prompting to video to be not real useful. Maybe as a B-roll, if you're trying to make a short or something like that, you can use some text to video. But to create a nice coherent story, you have to have consistent visuals, consistent characters across the whole thing. And text to video just doesn't allow that. But let's start with some of the tools that are out there. So we're going to go to this frame right here, this dinosaur you've been looking at, and I already have a prompt that I did in the previous video. This is have a T-Rex run across the field. We're going to change it. Have a lion run across a meadow. All right? And the first thing we're going to do is, everybody loves Sora. We're going to do it in Sora. Sora 2. Okay, 12 seconds. I'm going to copy this prompt. I'll show you why in a second. And again, this is text to video. Now the problem with Sora is that if you create a picture to a video, if the picture looks like a human, it will deny it. It will not let you do it. So for me, that really limits its usefulness, because I'm not trying to take, some person that's real. I'm not trying to take your congressman or senator and trying to put words in their mouth and stuff. But I create a character that I think, like a cowboy or something, and I can't use it because it might be, the filters won't allow it. So anyhow, we can do a lion though. So we'll try a lion across the field. Now let's try that same one in VO 3.1 fast. It's either VO or VEO. Do you guys really know which one it is? Because I don't know. So we're going to try that. And then we're also going to do it with Kling 2.6. Kling 2.6 is just really good for a lot of this stuff. And hey, why not? Let's go ahead and try WAN. We'll try it as well. And kind of as a treat, I think, in my opinion, the brand new Luma 3.14. Man, so far my results from it has been really, really good. It has one fatal flaw. And that fatal flaw right now is it will only let me generate a 5-second clip. And 5 seconds is okay, but 10 is way better. Just so much better. Okay, so now I'm going to switch this all over here. And we're going to do it in Runway. Have a lion run across a field. So that's what, 6 generators? I think that's pretty impressive, right? You guys signed up for this video and you're seeing 6 generations at one time. I think that's great. Let's see if there's any questions real quick. Because last time if I checked it, I would notice that I didn't have any audio. Can I do the Rubble voice? No, I'm not doing it today. Let's relax to our old videos. All right, so this channel is going to be something different, right? So this channel is going to be on actually making AI generated stuff, AI type fun videos and stuff. So, all right, so we're going to go back to here. All right, so here is Luma. Lion running across the field. The mane's flowing. The field looks pretty fantastic, really, if you ask me. I would say that this is a... Let's see, does his tail disappear? Tail vanishes out. Does it... It's a good result, right? And I think this is impressive because this is Luma 3.14, Luma Pi. Luma 3 wasn't this good, in my opinion. This is a whole new level. And I would say that it might be for this type of content, the very best out there. Super impressed. All right. So now we're going to go to our friends here, and so Sora 2, text to video. Okay, the main doesn't look good. It's pretty fuzzy. The grass doesn't have a lot of texture to it. You can see ribs. It's kind of a neat feature right there. But let's look at it again compared to that. Man, Sora 2 compared to this model, to the 3.14, it's really not close, is it? Just not close. All right, so now we're going to try what? I don't know why it said it was not safe for work. We'll come back to it. We'll try it again in a second. And then, so this is Kling. This isn't bad. I would have said this is a good result until I saw the Luma 3.14, Ray 3.14, I should say. It doesn't look real. It definitely has a cartoonish image to it, but this is what I call a dumb prop. It's just like 5 words. So if you added words like photorealistic and things, it probably would have made it look better, for sure. The field looks, it's not bad, right? It's definitely doable. Luma 2.6. I would say this is like you know, video game type quality. It's okay. And the reason why it's important, why in the world did it not generate on Google? Usually Google View is pretty open. Why it's important is every one of these models has a plus and advantage. Some are good at one thing, others are good in something else. And it's up to you as the AI director, as the director of your project, to know what tool to use in each different circumstance. So let's switch back over to here. You can see Runway. It's pretty slow, but it's getting there. And now we're going to try kind of, I think, a hidden gem for some things, Vado. So this is Vado Q2. Have a lion run across a meadow. Another thing that's kind of nice about Vado is that it's really easy to use. Like your duration right down here is real easy. Your output, number of videos, and it's a fast generator too. So that's something that you can't really discount, in my opinion. So let's go back to Runway. 82%. We're getting close. Getting close. Getting close. Not there. Getting close though. Look, the Vado's catching up pretty fast. And then we've got the Higsfield. So Higsfield AI is an aggregator, meaning that you pay for a subscription and you have access to multiple tools. And if you're going to do a lot of AI content creation, I would definitely suggest that, because depending on how much you're going to do, you're going to need access to a variety of things. I use a lot of Kling, use a lot of Google VAO, but those tools, sometimes you need other shots. You need a different way of imagining it. And sometimes I will use Sora too, you know, kind of a standalone shot, or I'll use CDance Pro, which is, I think, pretty good, or Vado. So let's look at this Vado one right here, Vado Q2. That's not as good as some of the shots, but that's not bad. That really isn't. And so what you would do with this clip, I would consider this to be a relatively usable clip. You would run it through a Topaz Labs, like an Astra, give it a little bit of realism to it, kind of polish it up, maybe upscale it to like 1080 or 4K, and you're going to have a real solid clip here with Vado. Again, it's a pretty cheap generator, and for these types of shots, it's definitely capable. Let's see if Runway's done. Runway is done. So the dust kicking up isn't real realistic. The face I like. The main's pretty good. I definitely would want to kick this into Topaz Labs Astra to give it more realism. It looks like some grass kind of generator. I would say that this is my second best. We haven't, let's go back to Veo. Let's see if it actually generated this time. Yeah, this one's pretty good. But again, this is where it's kind of its sweet spot. These long cinematic shots. It looks like he kind of stuttered stepped. He's in a field, meadow. Yeah, so there was like a weird frame in there. But still, hey, it's not bad, right? I would say that's probably second best. I think it beat Runway 4.5. But again, these are text to video. And frankly, I think that there's a limit to how useful those are. Where the sweet spot is image to video. That's how you can have a consistent story for 5, 10, 15 minutes and have it make sense and tie it all together. And that's what takes us to the next part of our video is how do you actually tie all this stuff together? But first, I want to paraphrase a little bit or kind of review a little bit of the previous part. And in that, I really want to say that this Luma Ray 3.14 is, my mind's kind of blown. I mean, it's only at 5 seconds right now, but once that gets to 10, this is pretty game changing. That's as good as I've ever seen. I mean, really, that's as good as I've ever seen. So, hats off to them, and I'm just so excited to see what happens in the next 6 months with all these tools. I've never seen a time as an engineer where something was state of the art in May of a year, and then by January of the following year, it's obsolete. That's how fast this stuff is moving. This Luma Ray 3.14 came out, I think, yesterday. Either yesterday or the day before. Like, it's just amazing how quick it comes out. I'm going to look for questions. A lot of questions. So one thing, this is a video about TEF plugged in, which is a kind of tech, AI, review type channel. We got some other fun things on there, but it's not really for the engineering family. So the assistant won't have any involvement with this channel. Actually, I think she's at softball practice right now, but it's more about how to use AI tools to generate content. It's one part of it, reviewing different tools that are out there, and to answer any questions you may have. All right. So there is our line. So back to here. So now we're going to talk about how we can actually create a cool story using AI. The first part, I think maybe my favorite tool in the whole toolkit for AI is LTX Studio. It kind of was my early find, if you will. Right here, it has 4 things that you can do. 2 of them I think are incredibly valuable. One of them I use occasionally, and another one I don't use as often. Maybe I could, but it's still pretty cool. And then you can generate a 20-second video. I don't really do that too much. I find that if you need a 20-second shot, you're probably outside of kind of the capability of AI in your story. Audio to video, I'm pretty excited. I've tried that. I've had some mixed results. And then retake is editing. First thing is generate images. So like I did a quick thumbnail for this actual video here. I wanted to do, I was going to talk about Luma, Kling, Runway, and some of these other models. So I wanted, this is all just prompt to text, right? These top 3 are prompt to image. Then I threw a picture of this mug right here, my face. I said, hey, make me look handsome, and throw my face in the thumbnail. And so here's our actual thumbnail. Oh. thumbnail. And that's the handsome version of me. Handsome Mr. Engineer. I think I just need to get a little dimple here and maybe get a little, 5 o'clock shadow. I like the hat. Pretty cool. I'm getting older, so I need glasses. That's the other change. So I say all that because LTX Studio, it's not primarily used as a image generator. I mean, it can be, but I think it's a fantastic image generator because it's so fast. Like on Higsfield right here, all these image generators and more are available to you. But they don't seem to work as well. I know it sounds crazy. Again, Higsfield's an aggregator. Luma 4.5 is pretty good. The same Nano Banana Pro, which I use for 90% of the stuff. GPT Image 1.5 is pretty good, but doesn't do 16.9, which is kind of a problem. Flux, which is Black Forest Labs, which is actually very strong as well. All that stuff is in Higsfield, where LTX has Nano Banana Pro. It has these two models for Black Forest Labs, Flux Max and Flux Pro, and then Z Image. But I just find it so quick, man. It's just so good to use. So I use this image generator all the time. The next thing you can then take these images. Let me back them up here. I'll find one. Here's a video I did with Paw Patrol. And you can actually take them and create a video out of it. Have them walk. Something easy. And so LTX actually has its own native video generator, LTX 2 Pro, and it's pretty good. It's definitely not a weak generator at all, and it's more than capable. You can get it again in up to 4K, depending on your subscription, and I think up to 20 seconds, which is pretty nuts, and it's pretty fast. So it's definitely worthwhile, especially sometimes you get stuck on a shot, meaning you want to animate something or you want to bring a frame to life and everything you're trying isn't working. So sometimes you can back off VO 3.1, which really holds very tightly on your prompt. You can back off that Kling and see dance and then go back to something like LTX, and it might surprise you and give you the actual video that you want to generate. So again, we're right here. We're just doing a little. So look, hey, this is pretty good, right? That looks like a chicken. That looks like a bulldog. They're walking across the construction site. That's a good result. And I've done videos completely before just in LTX, actually in LTX 1, and LTX 2 is a pretty good improvement over that. The next part is you can edit videos, so you take it and you can kind of manipulate different parts of the scene. I don't do that very often because I don't use the video generator very often. I mainly use it to grab these frames and then stick these frames into other generators. But that's not the key point for LTX. It's the storyboards. So we have this scene right here, or we have this box. And when I'm working with these AI tools, one thing I like to do is the open window Shift S. So I can get a picture. I'm just going to do a snapshot. Right? Boom. And then I'm going to take the snapshot and I'm going to drop it in ChatGPT. I need a prompt that I can cut and paste into this window prompt for LTX Studio Storyboard. And what this storyboard is going to do is it's going to create literally like a book, where every frame is a page in your book, and it's going to create the story that we're going to tell. And it's going to keep everything consistent. It's going to give you consistent characters, consistent visuals. Everything is going to look the same frame to frame. And that is a huge, huge advantage, because people, again, ask me, what AI tool do you use? And they get a little annoyed because I say all of them, because that's the truth. But a lot of it starts with LTX Pro, and that's how you can keep Kling and VO and Luma Ray 3.14 and Runway. That's how you keep it all consistent. I don't think people fully appreciate that. So this is what we're telling it to do. We're telling it that we want to have your ChatGPT Pro. This is called smart prompting, is what I've heard it referred to as. Is when you get ChatGPT or a Claude or Gemini to create a prompt for another AI tool. It's a way to really kind of leverage the power. So we're creating a prompt for this box. Now we're going to create a story. Tell me a story about a rabbit. Right? Tell me a story about a rabbit. I can do that. ChatGPT will kick out a story. It won't be a very good story. It won't. But it'll tell me a story. What's going to be better is if we give it all the details of the story that we want it to tell. We're going to use our brain, our creativity that we have, and then we're going to let ChatGPT fill in the details and then smart prompt it into LTX so LTX can create us a storyboard. So, a rabbit named Franklin, because why not, is on his way to a carrot patch. He discovers what do you think a rabbit should discover? What do you think he should discover? He discovers a clock, a analog alarm clock. He kicks the clock. I'm making this up as I go, by the way, with his back feet. The clock is actually a time machine. Why not, right? It sends the rabbit back to the time of cavemen. No, I don't like cavemen. To the time of we'll say dinosaurs. Why not? Everything's dinosaurs, right? The rabbit is trying to find his way back to the clock without getting stepped on by a triceratops or a brontosaurus. The rabbit, Franklin finds the clock, the alarm sounds, and he realizes it was a dream. So we're going to change Franklin's name all the way through instead of the rabbit. So look, this isn't the most creative story in the world. I came up with it literally as I typed. But it's not terrible, right? I mean, not terrible. It's a dream sequence. It's got a lot of, it's kind of a cop-out. But now we're going to use ChatGPT to fill in the blanks, right? So we got the basics of the story. If it was actually my story that we're putting on the engineering family, it would have a lot more detail. And I'm going to use some chapstick here. It would have a lot more detail, right? We're going to have some funny things happen. We're going to tell a lot more depth to it. It's going to be more creative. But here we're just trying to prove a point. So this is the story that's come out. We're just going to copy it because that's what we told we want. We want a prompt that we can just copy and paste. Boom, boom. Paste it in, hit next. Alright, so we can upload our own audio. And that's not something we're going to get into in this video, but like 11 Labs, the audio is pretty fantastic, man. It's really good. Not just for voiceover, but for lip syncing and other things. The amount of stuff you can do with 11 Labs is pretty fantastic. And then another really good tool for lip syncing is HeyGen. You can also lip sync in Kling. Kling AI has a lip sync option with it. Their Avatar 2.0. Again, very good. All this stuff is just so new that it just wasn't around, you know, months ago. Alright, so here are the shots showing us the model that we're using. We're using Nano Banana Pro, which is a very good model. These are our characters, right? So these are all the things that are going to be in our storyboard. So these are the visuals. And what's nice is every time it creates a frame in our storyboard, it's going to use these actual pictures for the characters, right? So that's how you generate consistency. So now we're going to generate it, and you see style. We can go around and we can change it. I wish it would actually let me do it prior to this. Let's change it to 3D cartoon. Why not? Another thing we're going to do is we're going to go into this gen space, and we're going to get a rabbit eventually. So we're going to edit our rabbit, make the rabbit look more like a 3D animated version as seen in major animated movies. Right? Why not? He should look happy but smart. He has we'll just leave it like that. So then what we're doing now is we're actually going to replace our original element. So we saw the rabbit in the storyboard, that in the original element. Now we're going to change it. And I'll show you what I mean by that in 1 second. And we're going to show you how cool this actually is throughout. Alright, so let me go over here real quick. There's our lion. Let me see if there's any questions for anybody. You're agreeing? Oh, thank you. I think I'm a pretty good engineer myself in the questions. I'll even answer that. Thanks. Alright. So let me go back to LTX. Alright, so right here. So here's our original rabbit. Here's our new rabbit. I like that. Let's grab it. Alright, so now we're going to go to Elements, and we can see Franklin right here. See Franklin? We're going to edit Franklin. We're going to replace, sorry Franklin. And we're going to replace him with this. It's saving it. And now let's look at our storyboard. So here's our original rabbit going through. Here's his clock that he found. He kicks it like we told him to. Boom, through a portal. Alright, up, up, up. Oh, he's hiding. He doesn't want to get stepped on by that Triceratops. Oh, luckily he gets by. He's going by. Oh, Brontosaurus. Oh, that's the wrong clock. So that one wasn't consistent, but we can fix it, right? So he goes, and then look, oh, he's back in his burrow. Alright, but look, we've changed what he looked like. Remember? This was the original Franklin the Rabbit. That's not the new one. So let's make it the new one, right? All right, and so we can do it for all these. Let's just update them. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? That looks like Franklin the Rabbit found an alarm clock. It's an analog clock, like we said. So again, AI amplifies your creativity. It amplifies it. It doesn't replace it, it amplifies it. So in the original prompt we gave to ChatGPT, right here, he discovers an analog alarm clock. That's what we told it, right? Now this story is basic, but you get the gist. He discovers an analog alarm clock. That's, in my opinion, pretty amazing that it can do this. Now, for the real magic to it, we're going to download this. We're going to copy and paste this prompt right here, this little storyboard. That's a prompt. It's a pretty smart prompt, in fact. So now when we go to our friends here at Runway, we can paste our prompt in. We're going to grab that picture, we're going to drop it in, and guess what's going to happen? It's going to create a frame for us. It's going to create a 10-second image. All right? So here we are now with Vidoo. We'll try it with it too. I will say Vidoo is not always as good for these type of things. Now let's go to Kling. So when people ask, hey, what AI program do you use? I use them all. I use them all. And so while it's working on that, every one of these frames then gets animated. Sometimes you go to it and you say, hey, we don't have the frame that I want. Have at Franklin look up and see a Triceratops foot coming down near him. He is worried that he is going to be stepped on. Right? So this is our storyboard. You know, it's missing something. Or it could be missing something. So we're just going to add a new frame. So while it's generating this image, this frame, let's go back and see what we have. Oh, it created 4 of them. That's why it was so expensive. So there's Franklin with the clock on Vidoo. Not bad. Really wish I hadn't generated 4 of them, but that's okay. But sometimes it's worthwhile generating multiple ones. You know, especially if you find a scene that you're really struggling on to get right, you generate multiple ones, and then that way you can find the one that works the best. And hey, I think these all look pretty good. Like, I would have no problem within my story using one of these 5-second clips. Let's see what Kling has come up with. Kling, it's done too. This one doesn't have a lot of motion, so it's not necessarily in Kling's sweet spot. And so what happens with Kling is if you don't have a lot of motion, it starts trying to create motion for you that isn't necessarily needed. And I think that's what we're seeing right here. Not bad. I wouldn't say it's better than Vidoo, just different. And of course, Runway is still waiting. We'll get off this scene. Let's do it in Luma, right? Problem with Luma is that, you know, of course, it is a little bit, it's only 5 seconds. Now while that's generating, we're going to go back to our image that we made. All right, put the rabbit in the burrow, but that's okay. All right, so the next thing we could do, maybe we remove the burrow and we say he's in a field. But you get the idea, right? So once you get all these video clips generated, the next step is to put them into your video editing software, whether it's something like CapCut Pro, Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut. You create your story in your timeline, and you just piece them together so you have a coherent story with all these clips. It's not a fast process. You can definitely spend a couple days working on this. But the results are good, right? So again, this video that we just created together, if we were to make it and have it animated at an animation studio, it would take them 2 to 3 weeks probably, and it would cost somewhere probably between, for this level, probably $2,000 to $4,000 per minute. This is going to be probably a 3 to 4 minute video. It would be a 3 to 4 minute video. So let's take the average $3,500 at 4 minutes. That's $14,000, right? You can't justify that. So the idea that you had in your head can't come to life. You just can't. With AI tools, you can bring it to life, and I think that's a huge win. Okay, so let's look at this again. We're still looking at the scenes. I'm actually surprised that Luma doesn't have it done yet. They're moving a little slow. I'll see if there's any questions here. Not too many yet. All right. Like I said, I'm a little surprised this hasn't generated. I'm in relaxed mode, but oh, there it goes. This is the first 3D animated clip I've done with Luma 3.14. Pretty good. I like the colors. I think it's definitely the most colorful one that we've done. Like, let's compare that to Vidoo. Vidoo has more of a traditional, maybe like a Peter Rabbit type look. And again, this is the same frame, right? So these are the creations between the two different ones. I will say that I find the texturing on this one to be a little bit overcooked. I think I appreciate the softer look, the more, the higher fidelity maybe to the original frame that was allowed with Vidoo. And then with, I didn't put it in flow. Paste our prompt. Gotta say frames to video. Drop it in. And Video 3.1 is still, it might not be the absolute best image to video generator out now, but it's not far from the best. If it's not, it's pretty good. I would have said that this is the most disappointing frame I've gotten, or video I've gotten out of Luma 3.14 so far. You can add audio. Oh, you can extend it right from there. So you stick an end frame in. Okay, hey, that's still pretty cool. So you can get more length. That's the problem with 5 seconds. It's just not long enough. Let's see if Runway. So I've got Runway in the unlimited free mode right now, and it definitely takes it longer. And it's also 10 seconds. Oh, broke a handle off the clock. Now it's doing a zoom in. Oh man, so this is a good result. I like this result until he breaks the clock. So what I would probably do is I would probably use the first, ironically, 5 seconds of it. It adds this natural motion. And like Voodoo, it kind of keeps that same look, right? Same background look. I would say it is crisper. You know, the flowers, the texture here, the lines, the edges are definitely more distinct. Runway 4.5 has really come a long way. I thought I got a subscription to Runway, and I started playing with Runway 4, and I thought, what did I do? Why did I pay money for this? But now I'm happy with it. It really is impressive. And now here is Vio. We have 2. Whoa, he just kicked. Why did you lick the clock? Why'd you lick it, man? Alright, well, he's touching through the glass, which is... I probably wouldn't use that frame. I probably wouldn't use that clip. Let's see what the second one looks like. So that one's okay. So I think, ironically, the one I probably would end up using is this one. So what AI tool do you use? You use them all. I will say I don't use Sora 2 that much just because it has a tendency to kick out frames. Now with this rabbit and the clock, it would generate this one more than likely. Because it's not a person, but even then, if we go back over here, I'm going to show you some of the generations I did in the previous video. We did dinosaurs. And so here's the Sora version of the dinosaur. It's pretty soft. The texture on the grass is not great. There's not real sharp edges on it. This looks like kind of, if I was to say, I'd say first half of 2025 result. It's not bad, but compared to what you get now, it's not good. I had a typo in it. It's a TRX. So Kling actually just put it in a dirt bike, which is kind of funny. Veo, again, Google's top of the line image or video generator. It's pretty good. I think this is a good result too. I wouldn't have any problem using that. Kling, it took it a little different. It follows the dinosaur along. So again, it just says, on this one, it says have a T-Rex run across a field. I spelled field wrong, I said bide. Oh, luckily it's smarter than me. And then we went to the lion, and then I went and I did it on Luma 3.14. And that's, oh man, I didn't switch over the camera. Okay, so we're gonna start over. Sorry about that. So here is Luma 3.14. We'll start with it. Dinosaur looks pretty fantastic in my opinion, right? So it looks good, good edges, high definition. I like the look of it. The grass has good texture, good edges. The trees are, I think, appropriately out of focus. To me, it's a surprisingly good result. Now let's go back and start over here again. So here's Sora 2, and oh man, I wish I hadn't messed it up to see that part of it. So here's Sora 2, and if you look, it has a soft look. Like I said, I called it like the first half of 2025. That's what I would expect back in May of last year. I would have been impressed then, but now I think it's definitely been passed. Especially when you look at the texturing, you look at the blur in the trees. It's just so here's the motorcycle that, because I said have a T-Rex run across a Fide, so that was my fault. Here's Veo 3.1. Again, a good all-around model. It follows your prompts very well. It doesn't always work great with physics. Things that are dropping or dancing and moving fast, sometimes it'll break and not be as good as you want. But as far as kind of a workhorse model, you can do a lot worse than that. Here's Kling 2.6. It's running a kind of a static shot where it's not actually following the dinosaur. But again, it looks good. I mean, I have no problem using that. And then if we go back to our friends over at at Runway 4.5. Here's a 10-second clip. And I would probably rate that to be second best behind the Luma 3.14, Luma 5. So hey, folks, if you guys have a question on something I can answer, I'd be happy to try to help you out. I think that this is kind of a fun and interesting time because these tools are rapidly improving, like rapidly. And that's why I had to do a live stream. The things that are state of the art here at the end of January 2026, March there'll be a whole different set of tools. Just like October had one set of state of the art, and by December it was a whole different array of tools. And if I can really leave you with one thing, AI is to amplify creativity, not replace it. If you're looking to do a one prompt and go type thing, I think you're going to be disappointed. Use it to create your stories, bring things to life that you thought you couldn't do before, and even if you don't find the audience that you want, I think you're going to find it rewarding and fun. And hey, if I can help you with that, I'd be happy to help you. So take care, and we'll catch you on the